Hi, and welcome to this week's GMBN Tech Show. Coming up on the show this week, automatic gears.
Wait, what?
Eurobike 2022 kicks off.
Magura launch ABS braking.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What's going on with the world?
And there's a sick build from Danger Home as well.
And that's just his outfit. Okay, so straight into the show, and we're not really going to have a topic as such, but we're definitely going to want to talk about this first thing, auto shifting from Shimano. Now, I actually predicted this sort of thing was going to happen, although I didn't know anything about this a while ago. I was like, it's going to happen at some point, someone's going to do it, but I literally can't believe it's happened. So Shimano just released a new e-bike system, of which this is part of. It's not on normal bikes as such, but we just want to talk about the tech of it, because it's quite bonkers, really, isn't it? A bike that can change gears for you, and it's got a load of other cool things as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I can already hear the sound of the keyboards being mashed as everyone angrily talks about automatic shifting. How dare they take our gear
I want to change gear when I want to change gear. But you know wrong.
So basically Shimano have just brought out Auto Shift. It's only on e-bikes at the moment before you panic, because it's clearly being powered by their Shimano Steps system and battery. And so auto shifting is, as you would expect, kind of like on the cars, isn't it? In that it chooses the gear it thinks that you want or that you need based on your cadence and your speed and your power and what it thinks you should be in. And you can even customize it on the app, as far as I'm aware, to talk about, to decide what your preferred starting gear is as well. So if you like being somewhere in the middle, you can always start there and it's ready for you. I mean, that doesn't sound terrible, does it?
No, it doesn't. I also believe it's got some sort of intelligent feature built in within the app that it learns the way you ride as well. So if you are a cyclist that does need help with figuring out your gears and stuff, it can suggest, I don't know, this person's always in the wrong gear at light, so always need a slightly easier gear to get going. Just on that auto gear concept, it's going to work out how erratic you are with the way that you pedal on bikes and adjust accordingly. It's insane. Like, people used to laugh at automatic cars way back, but look at how good the technology is now. I can't remember the last time I had a hire car outside of the UK that had manual gears. Everything is just automatic everywhere. So whether you like it or not, there's some really good technology in there.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need to be scared. I think we can change gear quite normally for a while.
But I mean, even if you do get that system on your bike, as far as I'm aware, you can switch it off.
And you'll be able to manually use it as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was there are some cars that do it really, really well, and there's some cars where you're just like revving the hell out of a car up a hill, and I was like, is this going to be the same thing? Yeah, exactly.
But you're doing like 20 mile an hour. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, great noise. But then the app that comes with it allows you to sort of custom tune it as well. So that's really exciting, because it means you can work out whether you want it to be more sensitive or less sensitive to the way that you pedal. So if you're climbing up something technical, then it will sort of back it off a little bit and adjust, which I think is really clever, especially as a starting point.
But it's not just auto shift, there's also free shift.
What?
It doesn't give you a free gear, but what it does is it enables you to be coasting or freewheeling, and it will change gear for you. So when you go to change gear, what happens is the motor will move the chainring the amount required to make the gear change.
Right,
so if you're coming around, I don't know, a switchback or whatever, and you know it's going to be a tricky corner and you're trying not to think about it, you can preempt and change gear without having to do it. So I can think of situations on e-bikes where that would be mega helpful. Yeah,
if you're coming down a descent and you see a big climb in front of you, if you change gear and you're freewheeling down, like, nothing's going to happen and you're going to end up in a big clunky mess, aren't you, on the climb? So that kind of effectively stops that.
Yeah, and I was sceptical about this approach before I tried gearbox bikes, because you can do it on gearbox bikes as well. And it's definitely something you have to adjust to.
Yeah.
Because to start with, you just get it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I can change gear at any time, and you try and change gear and you're like, I'm in the wrong gear. It doesn't work, but it totally does work. You just have to sort of recalibrate yourself. Now, also, in amongst all this, there's new Di2 that's been hiding in plain sight. Now, Shimano told me a while back we wouldn't be seeing it for some time, and they did say a specific year, and I don't want to sort of ruin it in case there's another version coming, but what you can see here is the new Di2, or a variant of it. So all I can say is there's 11-speed and 12-speed options. The 12-speed is regular Hyperglide Plus, and it is compatible with free shift. But the 11-speed is Link Glide, which is like this heavy, durable stuff that we've reported on before. And the really cool thing about Link Glide is it lasts 3 times longer than a regular chain or cassette. So this is absolutely perfect in the e-bike world, or if you're just a serial masher, and that is compatible with auto shift and free shift.
Right.
So it's just like Shimano have just like mic dropped all of the new technology at once. It's, it's ridiculous.
So auto shift only comes with the 11-speed Link Glide.
Yeah, and I'm guessing because this is so durable and strong, it's going to be compatible with the way that system's going to work. I mean, think about it, if you're pedalling and someone's going to change gears for you, you're not going to be ready for the second it changes, whereas when you change gear manually yourself, you kind of let off on the pedals are minute, don't you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the system might do that, but it's all food for thought. I think it's really cool.
I think it's
stuff.
exciting. Well, I guess it's an opportunity to tell you guys. Well, let us know down in the comments below. Is this interesting? I know this is e-bike tech. Please don't hate us. But this might filter through onto actual bikes. Would you use this on a non-e-bike if it could be powered? Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I'm also going to be at Eurobike. Well, I'm at Eurobike today, weirdly. I'm just teleported myself there. I'm there today reporting on stuff for GMBN Tech, so please do check out our Instagram, see what's going on there. We're definitely going to be hunting out this stuff in the flesh because there's going to be all sorts of cool stuff, and I reckon there might be some more surprises for us tucked away, so interesting stuff.
Do you want to talk about Eurobike now? Do you want to tell us what's coming up?
No, because it's all speculation, to be honest. I don't really know what's going up. It's a brand new year. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's carry on this theme because we also mentioned ABS brakes.
Yes, this is quite exciting. So Magura have partnered with Bosch to create ABS brakes, and it's just like the system you get in your cars. Basically, if you yank on the brakes and you hold it on, then you skid. You know, that's just momentum going forward, you're going to skid. So like in a car, it's basically the brakes will know that you're skidding, and it will go on and off just to let the wheel move a tiny bit to stop you skidding, basically. And so Magura have come out with this system with Bosch. I'll show it on screen now, and you can see that the front and the back disc kind of have an extra disc in the middle as well. And this is linked up to a little sensor box, which is attached to the forks. And it basically works out the speed in which the wheel is going and the amount of pressure that you're putting into your brakes. And it also measures the sort of difference in speed and pressure between the two calipers in the front and the rear, and basically works out within 3 or 4 milliseconds whether you are skidding or not. And it knows before you've even thought about it that you are skidding, and therefore it starts to apply ABS pressure on and off so that you don't skid.
See I could see it in, I don't know, commuter bikes being super invaluable. So I see like commuters locking up brakes in wet traffic all the time. And it's not a nice experience, to be fair.
No.
But it's not the first time we've seen ABS in mountain bikes. Someone tried it like many moons back with cantilevers, and it's a bit of a joke because the brakes didn't work in the first place. But they had like elliptical wheels on them that hit the rims. And as the brake pads went in, the wheels basically made the whole brakes go really fast.
Oh my
And it basically made it feel like you're going juddering down the road. So that was abandoned. And then Magura have done it before in the past as well. Like Magura seem to be the experts in doing this.
Well, they've brought it back, and this time it looks like it works, as our very own Steve Jones has taken it out on his e-bike, and he's absolutely loving it. And he said he adjusted really quickly and is almost struggling to go back to a normal bike. He said it changed his whole way of riding because he knew he wasn't going to skid, so he didn't weight the wrong part of his bike.
That's actually really interesting.
Became a more confident, capable rider.
And I imagine braking for someone the size of hands like his, they're like pallets. These things are ridiculous. So it's probably pretty good for him. But right, enough e-bike stuff. Come on, let's move on.
Okay, yes, go on then. Fine.
So Eurobike, brand new year. So Eurobike has been at Friedrichshafen for, 20 years, I reckon, since 1991 or something. Can't even really remember. And I just remember all of it so well, so vividly. And now it's all changed. So it's now at Frankfurt. And that's where I am, along with a bunch of other people, reporting on all the latest tech from today. We're going to be putting videos up on GMBN Tech Thursday, Friday and Saturday, so make sure you keep an eye out for those. And we're going to be digging out all the latest tech. So there's also going to be stuff appearing on GCN Tech as well, EMBN, and our overseas channels as well. So there's going to be loads of content. coming up. I've got to say, I'm pretty interested to see what's going to be happening with Eurobike because, well, it's a brand new year. Last year one was quite sad, a bit sorry state of affairs, I have to say, because the lack of people travelling because of COVID still, and then the lack of brands that even had stuff to display. I kind of think this one is going to be mega because everyone's like, we need to get our stuff sold.
Well, you saw California, the Sea Otter.
Yeah.
Every man and his dog was at that event because they couldn't get, been dying to do something and talk about products. So,
I think it's going to be the same, but with sausages, bread, and in a hall. So if you see us over there, come and say hi. But yeah, on we go. A new helmet from POC, wasn't there? Or something going on?
Sort of. POC are partnering with a company called Autoliv, and they're basically trying to build an airbag within a helmet. Now, they haven't done it yet, but it's basically announcing the partnership. Now, POC have had a really long, extensive history of, trying out really innovative safety. I remember about 5 years ago they were working with Volvo to communicate between helmets and cars so that no one could get hit by cars. So they do have a bit of a history of doing this sort of thing. But it's just the sort of the launch of the partnership. But we have seen kind of something like this before as Hovding. I think I'm probably not pronouncing that right. They brought out a airbag that was in a neck brace. You remember? It looked like a really heavy set of Y-fronts that sat around your neck, and everyone kind of tried to look really comfortable in it, and it was just a one-time use thing.
And it inflated over your head, didn't it, like a hood?
Yeah,
I remember.
And this is basically what POC's going to be working on, but it will come from the helmet, and they will, because obviously helmet, on a bike we kind of do little, not crashes, but little
tap
movements.
Head on branches and all sorts of stuff.
You bang your helmet, you don't want it going off all the time, so they're going to be spending some time trying to overcome that and make sure that it's not a single-use thing. So it's exciting stuff.
Also, there's a real comedy sketch in there. Do you remember like early car airbags that just go off with like someone bang the door and stuff? You see someone hit him with a stick. It's like, it's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
And I saw you spotted the new formula brake. I totally missed this actually.
Yeah.
When you're looking at this earlier.
Yeah, so it's the Cura has basically had a bit of an update. It's got some nice shiny new colours, which we always have colours around here, do we not? Check these out. They're kind of like a semi colour, like a half-half, but they've also updated the lever to now be carbon, and all the bolts are titanium, and it's just basically upping the already luxury and light category of the Cura by giving it some tie bolts, carbon levers, some braided Kevlar hoses. And they say it's now 34 grams lighter than it was before, which was already pretty good. So they've brought it down to 325 grams per brake, and that includes all the hosing and the disc rotor as well. So one for the lightweight XC whippets out there, I would say. And also, well, the bling lovers as well.
So I used to use Formula Oro brakes, and I had some of the Greg Minar edition ones. I've probably still got them somewhere in the loft.
I used to
love them way back. They were so good, and then they kind of, they went a bit wishy-washy for a while, and it seems like in the last 3 or 4 years they've been really strong. I've seen Neil's got some of the forks and that shockless upstairs, just absolutely gorgeous.
I think
really
they sort
nice
of
tech.
Passed me by a little bit because I left the XC scene, and that's when they started.
Of course,
they're
making
really
mega light
developing
brakes.
in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely one to watch if you're an XCer for
definitely
sure.
a welcome back as well. So that's a brand that's got a really good sort of heritage.
And speaking of lightweight and showy,
oh my god! So someone I'm going to be chatting to at Eurobike is Danger Home. So Gustav himself. And he's kind enough to send us a load of shots of his latest bike build that has been doing the rounds, but I just wanted you to see him on full screen just to see the beauty and just the effort he goes to. Now, I'm pretty sure there's no one else who goes to this amount of effort to like strip weight off bikes and just make the finish look like nothing else. Now, it's a tribute to Lemmy from Motorhead, essentially. And I'm just going to start throwing images on screen now. So it's based on a Scott scale frame, as are a lot of his builds, and he goes for a super light approach. So it weighs 9.16 kilograms, which is 20.19 pounds, including pedals on there. And just a few highlight things on there. So obviously the frame of the Lemmy graphics all over it. I love that Danger Home downtube graphic. You can just see there in that classic Motorhead font. That just looks wicked. You've got the Ace of Spades on the head tube as well, but it's still got the Scott logo in within that. It's bonkers. the hand-polished reverb post. Oh my
It's
God.
so
That is the
pretty.
coolest reverb post on the planet. Now, I saw him doing this quite a while back before he even leaked pictures of the build, but he also did the fork as well, so I think it's a Sid Ultimate, and that is polished up. Man, that just looks unreal. I'd love to do that, but I think I would probably have stones thrown at me by SRAM and RockShox for doing it, because they like me to talk about their products that you can go and buy. So I love what you do, Danger Home. You just get on it and do it in the way you want to do it. It's so cool. Trick stuff, Pickler carbon brakes on there, Schmaltz carbon bias, which weigh as much as with nothing, so they don't weigh anything. They're ridiculous. I picked a set of those up once, and I had to be sure they're even production, because I actually thought they must be made of plastic. They don't weigh anything. Zerbel twisters as well, operate in blip bots from SRAM, so super neat. If you look on the handlebar grips on the shot there, and even the clear grips with graphics on the underneath that he's put on the bars. Amazing. GX Eagle Access derailleur, but it's got a Kogel Colossus ceramic derailleur cage, and it's been Cerakoted as well. It's just like how much blink can you put in one sentence there. XTR SPD pedals, which are one of the finest pedals you can buy, with Meti titanium axles on them as well.
Of course.
But the whole thing, so I mean the frame itself weighs 963 grams, including hardware on there. And just like the spec list is insane. Leonardi Racing headset on there. Just like freeze components grips there, that's a clear grip, as you can see there. The Pickler carbon brakes on there, trick stuff, disc rotors, just the list goes on. It's just every single item on there. The hand-built wheels, the Duke Lucky Jack rims on there, the Newman Fade hubs. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the king of bike builds, I've got to say.
King of lightweight bike builds,
Yeah.
for sure. And it's all, if you don't follow him, you have to, if only just to see him scraping a frame with a knife and watching people cry in the comments. But also just because he picks such unusual parts to put on, some of them just absolutely stunning, unusual CNC'd or aluminium like parts that you never would have heard of before. It's worth a follow, I'd say. And if he doesn't, you need to go and see that sub 30 kilo downhill bike that he built.
That's
if it's
crazy.
at Eurobike as well.
Yeah, so
Unreal.
well, he's told
Scott
me he's got
Gambler.
a couple of cool bikes he's taken with him. I don't know what they are yet.
He's got to take that.
I'm gonna come and find you, and we're gonna hang out. I know you're gonna tell me about all your crazy bike projects. But thank you as always for sharing your photos with us. We love to share them with our viewers because you're a wild man. Crazy stuff. Love it. Quiz time. 3 questions coming at you all about mountain bike tech. Okay, first question hitting your screen now. Shimano is well known for having a past in producing wild components like roller brakes.
I'd like to see him on the rollerblades.
No, you wouldn't actually. Roller brakes and their well-known shifting system that used a very unique way of powering the gear shifts. Any idea what it was called and what it used?
Question number 2. Which company first released a ABS braking system for bikes back in 2019?
Oh, and the other one is Shimano released Di2 to the mountain bike world in 2014, I think it was, but they weren't the first to make electronic gears. Who was the first brand making electronic gears on mountain bikes?
Okay, comments from you lovely people. And last week we were talking about tools you can't live without. What can they live without then, Doddy?
Okay, first that was from Justin Hayes. I have to go my Topeak mini ratchet set as well. Good
Same
man.
as you, yeah.
I love my Topeak mini PT30 multi-tool as well, but it's just something about the ratchet that I'll always use first if I have them both available.
Yeah, totally.
Man after my own heart there, absolutely.
And then Brownsworthy, man after my heart, because he says, I think Jack Moyer would have to agree that a rock is an essential part of your toolkit, and it was key to him holding the season together. Yeah, you know what? If it weren't for that rock, would he have won?
You do know that we basically ride on a rock, yeah? Okay, Jonas B. I'd like to have an in-depth view of the Mind telemetry system, how it works and what benefits you have with it. Maybe even comparing it with the Shockwiz system or more consumer-friendly systems. Hey, do you know what? I haven't actually used TireWiz or Shockwiz. No. To be honest, I've kind of forgotten about them with all the other stuff going on. That's a great shout. I'll see if I can get hold of them. Jonesy has got a bike. It is an e-bike, but it's got a flight attendant on it, so we can look at that as well. Yeah, we'll make that video just with all of those sort of things all cobbled together in one video.
Yeah.
I think there's loads of interesting tech to talk about there. Good shout.
An Irish biker says he loves the build, so this is your raise. He's planning to build a raise himself and wondered, is there any special faff with that headset routing?
All the faff.
Is there?
Yeah. No, it's not. any more faff than another system. However, if your bike was complete, for example, and then you've got to work on it afterwards, the fact that the hoses do run with the headset means you have to take out more components than you would otherwise to take a hose out. But that's the price you pay for having a really extremely neat system with small hoses. Now, I love the way it looks, but yeah, it was a little bit of a faff. But when you get the frame, it comes already with hoses installed. Now, they're not the ones you're going to use. It will come, I think one of them was done, it was just like a plain black hose, and the other two were gear outer cables, but pre-installed. So you could use those to pull the other ones through the system.
So you tape them together and
basically,
feed it through.
You can find your own way of putting them through. And it made a bit more noise than usual. I used some frame silencer just where it sort of skirts around the head tube, steerer tube even. But yeah, it is a little bit of a fuss, but do you know what? Like most internal cabling systems kind of are. There's only a few out there that aren't, to be honest, and none of them are perfect systems. It's all made to look aesthetically pleasing, which I know that pisses off a lot of mechanics out there who just want to work on the bike as fast as possible, and I get that. I feel the same, but I look at the end result and you're like, whoa.
And then we got a notification from Rome Not Alone who said that FRM have also done an inverted dropper post, because we were talking about DT Swiss and
that's a brand I always forget
Envy.
even exists, to be honest.
I didn't know I'd not seen this post before, but I'll chuck this on screen just so you can see it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a very different interpretation on aesthetics, but yeah, it's an inverted dropper nonetheless. So thanks for that.
Carl says, in 1976, my father used a rock to remove a link from the chain on a single-speed bicycle of a friend of mine and I were racing as a team. The local bike shop had a team there. Their bike broke down near the end of the race. My friend and I won the race that day. Thanks to the rock.
The rock prevails again.
Just stop it with the rock stuff.
Better than Dwayne Johnson.
I know I can buy you for Christmas now. I'll just keep buying you rocks, shall I?
Mark Woodward says, hi Anna and Doddy, I can't live without my bike stand, or at least my back wouldn't. Yeah, it's a good point, didn't think about that one. Are we looking at a new channel for the future, a collaboration between GMBN and GCN, and call it Gravel Bike Network?
Yeah, you're probably right. It could be sort of a collaboration thing, but I don't know. Cause
mountain bikers still use gravel.
I think there's mountain bikes side of gravel. We said this before, didn't we? And there's a road bikers type of gravel.
There is,
I mean,
sure.
Neil and Blake were talking about it in the office earlier on. I could already feel there's going to be a mountain biker gravel versus a road biker gravel.
There's got to be.
Video.
It's different.
In the two different styles.
There's gradients of gravel. And then finally we've got the butler who says, I can't live without a can of brake clean and a spray grease. And can we count the humble zip tie? Yeah, I'd forgotten about the zip tie.
Do you know what?
I mean, it's not at all, but yeah.
The zip tie is one of my very favouriteest things. And I made a cable tie or a zip tie hacks video on GMBN when I first started, and it was a really popular video.
Yeah.
But actually, I've been too scared to make another one because actually it's plastic, and a lot of the time it's not brilliant plastic.
Oh, we can get, I think there's biodegradable ones now.
Yeah, and that is absolutely fine, but obviously I don't want to send the wrong message out. But yeah, that is the thing you can fix.
They are disposable for sure.
Those, along with the silver insulation taping you get with Celotex, masking tape, and probably something like a Gorilla Tape, you can fix so many things with. It's crazy. And super glue, incidentally. I had to use super glue and a little flap on my finger this morning. It just wouldn't stop bleeding. It was annoying me.
Oh, cool story.
That's what it's made for, initially, isn't it? Okay, and now we've got time for some top mods. Don't forget, this is all about what you do to your bikes to make them better than your mates, better than when you bought in a shop, or perhaps resurrecting something. If you've done something cool to any of your bikes, doesn't matter what it is, there's a link right there. Click on it. In fact, click on the one that's down there, because you can actually click on that one. And tell us about what you've done, send us loads of pictures and all that stuff. First one this week, this one is so... can't really say a word. This one this week is so flipping cool. It's from Andrew in Southampton. He says, my daughter grew out of her frog bike during lockdown. We couldn't source an appropriate replacement, so I got out some old 26-inch parts. Got an old XS rock copper frame, had it powder-coated hot pink. Wow. I mean, that looks insane to start with. I love a pink bike. It was blue and very scratched. Added new graphics, so straight out, it's a brand new frame. Used old stump jumper bars as narrower and more suitable for her size. Race face stem cranks, nuke-proof kids pedals on there. XT wheels and brakes, XT 1x group set on there, recycled from another bike. Oh mate, it's just amazing. did some of the 7 Stains trails in Scotland on it whilst on holiday, and she did really well.
Oh, that's great.
More to the point, look how happy she looks with her bike.
I know.
That's so cool.
I love that the decals and the forks match the hot pink frame.
It looks like a bike you could buy off the peg, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like Specialized should make bikes like that off the peg. It looks great.
It's an awesome job. Super well done on that one, Andrew. Love it.
Nice. And and it seems to be a bit of a theme actually, because I've got a nuke-proof 2014 Mega 275 from Ryan here.
That's the original one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looks quite, 2014. And he said that I've done 2,500 kilometres on my Mega since ownership. It was looking a bit sorry for itself. And he basically said he was inspired by all the custom paint jobs that we've been putting on the show. And so he's sprayed it himself, a candy apple red, and put some nice new shiny decals, very similar to the ones we've got this year actually on Nuke Proof. And big up to all the GMBN 10 for the team for the content. So yeah, it just looks great. I think it looks brand new.
Sorry, excuse me.
In fact, it's not far off from the Nuke Proof Alley Mega that came out this year.
No, in that colour.
In a sort of a deep
cherry
red.
apple red or whatever it is, yeah. I'll tell you what, Ryan, big up yourself for taking this on. I always think it's with anyone that's brave enough to paint a frame, let alone a full suspension frame with all the components as well. Doing a full flat lay there, stripped down, primed it and stuff. They've done an awesome job. Even built like a little paint booth in your garden.
I know, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I love it. I feel like we've started something here because the more we keep showing the at-home paint jobs, the more we keep getting them. They're like pouring in now. So.
I feel like I really need to do one. Like Rich did one, but no offence to Rich's one, he did one with proper advice from a proper painter, and it's a really good result. But I love this approach of just doing it in a tent in your garden.
Yeah.
And the result on it.
Booth. Yeah, we should totally do one.
Fair play, Ryan.
If you've got any mods that you've done yourself, whether it be a spray job or not, then don't forget to look at the link down in the description below. Share them with us because they look stunning. We love seeing them.
Yeah, please do. We love celebrating your bikes. So get involved. Okay, now we've got time for some quiz answers. So the first question was, Shimano is well known for having a past in producing wild components like roller brakes, not Blake's, and their well-known shifting system that used a unique way of powering the shifts. Any idea what it was called and how it worked? It was called airlines, and it used compressed air. Had basically a big cylinder of air, depending on the bike. Sometimes they're under a down tube in like rock firing range. Now they're incredibly rare. There's a shot of a system here. I don't even think it's being used. I saw one on eBay the other day for I can't even think how much money. I've not actually seen one and played with one in the flesh. I've said this before a long time ago. I do know someone who's acquired one now, so I just really want to see it with my own eyes. However pointless it is, it's just cool that Shimano even bothered to make it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, some of the best ideas come out of some of the worst.
Yeah.
So which company first released an ABS braking system back in 2019? Well, it's the guys who've already released one today. It was Magura, actually.
Magura's Kings of Safety.
Yeah.
They knock out some amazing stuff. And the last one, Shimano released their first Di2 back in 2014, but they weren't the first ones to make electronic gears on bikes. Who was? It was Mavic with the Zap system, which was 91 or 92, I think, when they originally made it. But then it went wireless in 1999.
So
wireless in 1999.
1999.
Yeah.
Wow, didn't even know that. That passed me.
And I think it did
before
pretty
my time,
well.
actually.
Pretty well in a few races as well. And do you know what? Even though I've put the Mavic system down there, Sachs Cure or just Sachs themselves, they also made an electronic system because I've seen it in the SRAM factory before on display, and it's like vintage. But I don't even know if that was produced. Like this one was produced, and people were racing it out in the wild, and it looked pretty finished.
Wow.
But it's mad, isn't it, that people have been experimenting with this stuff for a long time.
I'd love to get hold of one and see if it's actually that different to now. But
I think that's retro bike turf there.
I'll leave that to you then.
For a minute I thought you were going to start liking the old tap. Anyway, thank you for watching this week's show. Love having you around. Don't forget to look out for all the Eurobike content coming up on all the channels, especially for the EMTB stuff over on EMBN, if that's your thing, or the regular tech here on GMBN Tech.
And that's every day this week, isn't it?
Every day this week, yeah.
Check it out.
I'm going to be up every night like that.
And on that bombshell, thanks for watching.
Auf Wiedersehen.